Good morning, good evening, and yo! Welcome to another edition of 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧. Today, we're talking about game theory. You've probably heard about it, but what does it actually mean? Well, by the end of this video, fellas, you're going to be able to take your 𝗧𝗏 game to a whole new level. Let's dive in. Picture a massive chess game, but instead of just two players, imagine the entire world is playing, and the pieces. All the wealth in the world combined. That's essentially what's happening right now with Bitcoin. But before we dive into what this means for your bags, let's break down what game theory actually is. Game theory is basically the study of strategic decision-making. It's what happens when my choices affect your outcomes and your choices affect mine. Think of it like this. You're at a party and there's only one slice of pizza left. You and another person both want it. Do you rush for it? Wait politely? Offer to split it? Every decision you make depends on what you think the other person will do. Now, let's apply this to Bitcoin, because we're watching game theory play out on a global scale, and depending on whether you've been stacking sats, like crazy, or are called 𝗬𝗘𝗧𝗏, it's either a very exciting time or an unmitigated clusterfuck.
Keep dreaming, my friend. It's going to goddamn zero.
Countries, companies, and individuals are all caught in this intricate dance of decision-making, and the stakes, well, they're potentially higher than they've ever been in financial history. Consider the nation-states first. El Salvador got the ball rolling when they jumped in and made Bitcoin legal tender. The detractors said they were crazy. But Bukele doesn't mess around. He knew exactly what he was doing. Meanwhile, Bhutan has been quietly stacking like there's no tomorrow. But people were like, whatever, these small-ass countries, what the hell do they know? The arrogance and complacency was deafening. But that could all be about to change, because guess who may be about to turn the game on its head?
That's right, baby.
If President Trump establishes a national Bitcoin reserve, and it's looking increasingly likely that he will, then buckle up, folks. All bets are off. Trump's new cabinet is stacked with Bitcoin advocates, my friends, and the world is paying serious attention. Suddenly, every other nation is thinking, shit! If this actually happens, do we want to be the last one to join the party? It's like a global game of musical chairs, but instead of music stopping, it's the money printer that might stop. Or rather, the money it prints won't be worth the paper it was printed on. Isn't that right, guys? Then we have the corporations. MicroStrategy jumped in with both feet, converted their treasury to Bitcoin, and rallied a bazillion%. Now, every corporate treasurer is sweating, thinking, if Bitcoin succeeds, how do I explain to shareholders why we're holding cash that's losing value? That's game theory in action. The risk of doing nothing might be bigger than the risk of doing something. And Michael, care to share a few words? And the individuals? Oh, we're playing our own game. Every person who buys Bitcoin is essentially betting that more people will want it in the future. Early adopters take the biggest risk, but might get the biggest reward. Late adopters? They're safer, but they might miss the biggest gains. Classic game theory. But here's where it gets really interesting. We're watching what game theorists call a Nash equilibrium evolve in real time. That's a situation where once enough players make a certain choice, it becomes increasingly costly not to follow. Think about not having a cell phone today. Sure, you can do it, but the cost of not participating in that network is huge. What we're witnessing with Bitcoin might be the biggest game theory experiment in human history. It's a game where the rules are written in code, the players are everyone with internet access, and the prize, well, that might just be a completely new financial system. And the most fascinating part? We're all players in this game, whether we want to be or not. The only choice is whether we want to be early movers or late adopters, because in this game, sitting out might be the riskiest move of all. See you next time, and as ever, the ticker
Is BTC's 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧.
What is the